Hi everybody, this is Josh with Josh Wright Piano TV. Today's episode is based on orchestral sound, and you might think, what is he talking about? The piano was really built as a rival to the orchestra. Like it can hold up against an orchestra. I accompanied a girl on the Sibelius violin concerto, and at the end it gets really stormy at the end of the first movement. And the teacher said, Josh, even though it's marked fortissimo, you have to do subito, you have to do pianissimo marcato. In other words, the piano or a full orchestra is really going to cover one instrumentalist. But with the piano can really hold its own against an orchestra. I'm not saying it holds its own against orchestra at fortissimo. Of course the orchestra will cover it. But the piano really does ring out a lot. And so it has this wide dynamic range that we can exploit in our performances and use to our advantage. The thing that I want to talk about today is the concept of imitating various instruments in your playing and how you can create nice textures through that. My teacher here at Michigan and I have discussed this at great lengths, and I've learned a lot about it. I was playing a piece, and a man named Lewis emailed me. He said, can you talk about the non-legato touch in Bach and how that works? And I'll talk a little bit about that today. I was just playing staccato on this Bach Prelude and Fugue. I haven't played it for about 4 or 5 months. And basically my teacher said, you know, that's fine, but it's really not that interesting. Think about a violinist playing, putting those little inflections that a violinist might just naturally feel. As a pianist, we don't really feel bowings, but see, it adds a lot of extra character to it. So pretend in various passages that are lighthearted like that you're playing a stringed instrument. Assigning different instruments to your different textures is very helpful. Another example is something I'm currently working on, this Schubert Sonata I've mentioned in a few of my videos. A minor, it goes like this at the beginning. D7-8-4 A minor sonata. Basically, there's this big part. It starts very soft. What does that remind you of? I think it could easily be a string section, kind of like that, and I think that definitely works right there. I discussed that just last week in my lesson. So that's another orchestral texture that you can use. I wanted to reference a couple of common Beethoven sonatas as well for this. Moonlight Sonata number 14. Just ringing out on this. I find the oboe to be a very beautiful instrument. I know some people don't like it. I love it. I think it's so gorgeous. And or even a flute. Or you can think of a very lush violin. Picturing something is helpful. The human voice is by far the most helpful thing to imitate when you're trying to create long lines. Chopin nocturnes are just the perfect example for how this can work. Let's see, this is one that I've played. A singer, they would pause, and they might even do. I'm a terrible singer, but I'm just, it's helpful. Even if you're terrible at singing, try just singing along to this. So, there. it like a singer would. And even though I'm not a singer, that's what I imagine. I've accompanied enough singers to know that kind of what that feels like. I know I'm not an expert at it, but imitating the human voice is very effective when you're trying to voice a melody. Think about the Pathetique Sonata. What could that possibly be? I think timpani roll. Or even just that cello, just going bum, 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 on the cello. This is a very helpful concept, and I'm just scratching the surface with what I say today. But I really did want to present it. I think it's a very valuable concept, this idea of orchestral sound. If anyone has questions, please email me. Also, if you would like to audition for lessons through Skype, that's really fun. I've been teaching quite a few students that are international as well as within the US through Skype. My email is josh@joshwrightpiano.com. Thanks so much for joining me today.